The White House has reportedly settled on an explanation for how Signalgate happened. Waymo has no plans to sell ads to riders based on camera data. And Framework paused some U.S. laptop sales due to tariffs. It's Tuesday, April 8th, and this is your morning roundup of tech news from Engadget. After an internal investigation, the White House has come up with a likely explanation for how Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was included in a Signal chat filled with Trump officials planning to bomb the Houthis. The Guardian reported that the issue came down to National Security Advisor Mike Waltz not understanding how his iPhone works. Apparently, after Goldberg attempted to contact the Trump campaign about a separate issue in 2024, Brian Hughes, a Trump spokesperson, shared Goldberg's contact information and email signature with Waltz. It only took a few wrong taps after that to lay the groundwork for Signalgate. The Guardian wrote, Waltz did not ultimately call Goldberg, the People said, but in an extraordinary twist inadvertently ended up saving Goldberg's number in his iPhone under the contact card for Hughes, now the spokesperson for the National Security Council. So, Waltz didn't realize his iPhone was updating a contact rather than creating a new one, and meant to add Hughes to the group chat rather than Goldberg. This explanation doesn't change the fact that the kind of planning happening in the Houthi PC small group probably should not have taken place on an encrypted messaging app, and especially without Congress weighing in. But this discovery does add a new flavor of grim stupidity to the whole affair. Not long after Signalgate, the Pentagon warned against using Signal because it is vulnerable to Russian phishing attacks. But clearly, the Trump administration likes the app's security and the instantaneous communication it allows. Having a more secure option, reportedly, hasn't stopped Waltz from using Gmail, though. Rumors circulated this week that robotaxi company Waymo might use data from vehicles' interior cameras to train AI and sell targeted ads to riders. However, the company has tried to quell concerns, insisting that it will not be targeting ads to passengers. The situation arose after researcher and engineer Jane Manchin-Wong discovered an unreleased version of Waymo's privacy policy that suggested the robotaxi company could start using data from its vehicles to train generative AI. The draft policy has language allowing customers to opt out of Waymo using your personal information, including interior camera data associated with your identity, for training GAI. Wong's discovery also suggested that Waymo could use that camera footage to sell personalized ads to riders. Later in the day, The Verge obtained comments on this unreleased privacy policy from a Waymo spokesperson. Waymo's machine learning systems are not designed to use this data to identify individual people, and there are no plans to use this data for targeted ads. The spokesperson said the version found by Wong featured placeholder text that does not accurately reflect the feature's purpose, and noted that the feature was still in development. It will not introduce any changes to Waymo's privacy policy, but rather will offer riders an opportunity to opt out of data collection for ML training purposes. Hopefully, Waymo holds to those statements. Privacy and security are huge concerns as AI companies try to feed their models as much information as possible. Waymo is owned by Alphabet, and Google is developing its own AI assistant Gemini, as well as other AI projects with its DeepMind division. Consumer electronics brand Framework announced on social media yesterday that it will temporarily suspend U.S. sales of select laptop models as a result of the global tariffs enacted for the country last week. The company said it will remove the Ultra 5 and Ryzen 5 versions of its Laptop 13 systems from its website. The Ultra 5 Intel model was not listed for sale yesterday, but the Ryzen 5 with the AMD chip appears to still be available for purchase. In a follow-up post, the company said that it originally priced its laptops based on a 0% tariff for goods from Taiwan. With the current 10% tariff, the products would be sold at a loss. An official from Framework said other consumer goods makers have performed the same calculations and taken the same actions, though most have not been open about it. Given the language of the initial post, this does not seem to be the end of U.S. customers' chances to buy laptop 13 models, but the sweeping tariffs on imports enacted by President Donald Trump last week have already sparked other industries to rethink their U.S. sales and pricing. UK-based Jaguar Land Rover also paused shipments to the U.S. as a result of the tariffs, while Japan's Nintendo has delayed pre-orders for the Switch 2 gaming console, although the launch date appears unchanged. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Ian Carlos Campbell and Anna Washenko, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.